my business partner and I, Sean O'Flaherty, we started our, I guess, it was a little investment vehicle about 6 or 7 years ago, Symphony Ventures. And along that journey and along the way, we met a few individuals from TPG, one being a partner, Jeff Rhodes. I played in a pro-am with him at Quail Hollow, I think in 2019. And it sort of was just this relationship that developed organically. And Jeff and Todd run TPG's healthcare endeavors. And we invested alongside TPG in a couple of their healthcare investments and one of their golf investments as well, Troon Golf. And yeah, it's just been a relationship that's really developed over the years. And I feel like it was great synergy. Sean and I were at a bit of a crossroads with what we do in terms of do we keep committing our own capital to fund these investments, or do we try to partner with someone, or do we try to raise our own fund, or we had a few different options on the table, but we sort of put our heads together with the guys from TPG, and they were thinking about starting a sports strategy, and it just seemed to all come together pretty nicely.
What interests you, Rory, in that regard, the types of things you'll look at?
So yeah, as Todd said, I think a lot of the capital that's been allocated in sports recently has been these minority investments in teams or in leagues. And what Sean and I feel like we bring to the table is we've been a part of building some businesses within sports. So whether it be TGL or Golf Pass in conjunction with NBC. And then we've also been involved intimately with some other businesses within sports that we feel like we've had a big impact on, more so from a strategic standpoint, and something where we can really, put our heads together with the principals of those companies and really try to make a difference in the business. And that's something that I'm excited about, because then if I do invest in something, I really feel like I'm making a difference instead of, throwing some money at a team or whatever. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but, Sean and I have sort of liked to get our hands dirty, I guess, over the last few years, and we really feel like the best investments we've made are the ones that we've been very active in.
You're still a young man, obviously, but as you grow older, as your time on the tour gets later, do you see yourself today as a golfer / business person, or are you still full dialed into, I want to win more majors and I want to do this and I didn't win that tournament and I'm going to go give it everything I have to continue the count?
No, I think as long as I'm playing golf competitively, I will be a golfer first and foremost. Golf is the reason that I am on this stage. It's given me a platform to follow these different interests in my life. But as time goes on, and I used to be the young guy on tour, and I look around myself now, and I'm not, and I've got the gray hairs to prove it. But I do see that that second part of my career, and I still feel like I can be a really good golfer for the next 5 to 10 years. But I'm still going to have half my life to live after that, and I don't want to hang up my clubs one day and sit at home and think about like, okay, what am I going to do next? So I think to put the wheels in motion, partnering with great firms like TPG, following my interests in investing, it sets me up for that second phase of life, which I think a lot of athletes, don't get there. And I want to, when I feel like I've done everything that I want to do in the game of golf, it'll be so nice to hopefully step into this other role, and it sort of be a smooth transition into that.
Are there athletes, Rory, that you've watched make the transition from the playing field, so to speak, to the boardroom that you've admired, that you've maybe gotten advice from, that you look at as a model for what you'd like to achieve?
Yeah, I would say the one that I've, there's been a lot. I think when I set up my own company back in 2013, my business partner, Sean, spoke to Maverick Carter and LeBron and that team, because we were really trying to set up something like what the structure like LeBron has. But then once you start to talk to other athletes, the one that really stands out to me that I think has done a really good job in protecting his brand and sort of making a smooth transition to that second part of his career is Roger Federer. You know, Roger's made some great investments in things over the last few years, and you know, he's really leveraged his brand and where he sits in the global sports ecosystem to make a difference in those investments. And I've been lucky enough to spend a bit of time with him and his manager Tony, and you know, we really love what they're doing.
Oh my gosh, what he's done with On.
Yeah,
been,
absolutely.
That's what you're alluding to, probably.
Yeah.
It's
which, you know,
extraordinary.
They would say that was a sort of serendipitous, lucky thing that happened, that Nike didn't re-up, and then they went off and they did their own thing and they found Uniqlo, and then On came and it was a Swiss brand. But you know, I think in this business you make your own luck as well. But yeah, that's just one of the things. But they've been very intentional about what they do, and they haven't partnered with a lot of different people, and you know, they've done a great job.